Hello again on this holiday weekend evening. I just want to share with you this bottle of Côte Rôtie with a little bit of a background. At first, we're trying to celebrate this weekend our 1,500 subscriber. It's been quite a journey. I mean, again, we're not talking these amazing numbers here, but for us and for the community and for the kind of people who like to watch these videos and learn about these wines, we think it's a great accomplishment. We're pretty happy to have these people watching us and commenting and asking questions. So this is something we'd like to celebrate. And for that, I picked a bottle that means something in this context, because if you recall, we kind of all got together on this notion of trying to together, we've been friends for a very long time, but learn more about wine and do more with wine and about wine, was this trip we took in November of 2019 to the Northern Rhone, where we really dug into the Côte Rôties, the Cornas, the Saint-Joseph, that whole right bank, if you want, of the Rhone in the north. And we got to meet these amazing producers. We've talked about quite a few of them over the years. But this is from Clusel-Roch. Clusel-Roch is a small property in Ampuis, the capital of Côte Rôties, that makes Côte Rôtie, and they make a few other things, and Condrieu, so the Northern Rhone, wines. And this was our first visit. The first day, the first appointment was with these guys, a small property, a beautifully laid out room, with all the wines. Really nice hostess, one of the team, one of the family, I couldn't quite figure out at the time, hosting us and taking us through all these wines and having us, go through the progression of what it was that they made. And what struck me was one aha moment was the last wine. I mean, they were all very good, but the last wine was the Côte Rôties Les Grandes Places. Les Grandes Places is a small parcel in the northern side of the Côte Brune. So it's already on the northern side, as we discussed many times in terms of the Côte Brune and the Côte Blonde. And it's on the northern flip side of the Côte Brune, but it also has some south and southeast exposure. This is a property that's been in the family for a while. It's been, we're going back, Serine, Syrah plants, the wild plants that are endemic to that part of France, going back to the 30s. It's 100% Syrah, although we know that you're allowed to put some Viognier, the white Viognier in the Syrah, in the Côte Rôties. It's been organic for quite a bit, even though this is in 2009, it was organic before that, about half stemmed, half destemmed. So it's really, it's unfiltered, it's wild yeast. So it's kind of like this really purest, one of the people who are still focusing on the purest expression of Côte Rôties. And at the same time, that wine, it's such a big impression on me that I started buying more of this wine. And then as we've talked before, when you meet or you get introduced to a wine and you're there, you're in 2019, you're tasting the 2017. And then what I do after that is I want to kind of go back in time or probably maybe go forward in time. And so try to find older vintages that I could drink right away, as opposed to while I'm waiting for the 2017, 18, 19. And this is how I got into the 2009, which was an amazing vintage at the time, in general for the Northern Rhone, but also for these guys. And in the 2009, a lot of really beautiful wines were made in Cornas and Saint-Joseph and Côte Rôties. Very fine, very harmonious, very balanced, doesn't give you the sort of, knock over the head that sometimes you get in the with these Côte Rôties on the Northern Rhones, and it was sort of a wine that consistently, every time I tried it, 2009, for the quality of the producer, it was a positive surprise. So here we are. We had another one of the 2009s all together with a gang in France 3 years ago, and 2 years ago, and that was quite a revelation. So I'm going to have another one here together. Here we are. The color is what I've come to expect, that sort of dark purple, you know, from the Syrah in the Northern Rhone. It's not evolved at all, so it's still very, very vibrant. Just a tiny little bit of a ring around the edge of the thing. Not very alcoholic. I mean, this is a, oops. Let's see, this is probably a, yeah, this is a 13% alcohol. So just about right, and it's a pretty sunny part of France, as we know. On the nose, it's just intoxicating. The aromatics on these wines when they're on, they're just incredible. You've got the violet, which is a typical, you know, from the Syrah in that area. You've got a little bit of pepper even on the nose, but very, very fine. Not the strong peppery, you know, coarseness, but the fine, like white ground pepper. A little bit of licorice, a little bit of, you know, sort of alcohol, you know, evaporated alcohol. And it's all together. It's got this, then when you first open it, you've got that meat fat. I mean, and again, it's very common in these wines, like this meaty, fatty smell that kind of comes from game, you know, and it's kind of associated with the Hermitage and the Côte Rôties and the Cornas from that area. So it's typical, and you want it there because it kind of wraps the whole thing. All the same stuff, you know, in the mouth, on the tongue. Nice tannins, so you do have that. The tannins give you that notion of sort of still life and you know, sort of life really. And then at the same time you have good acidity that goes, you know, with food if you want to have this. But it's also delicious enough that I would say you can enjoy a glass of this, you know, before dinner or while you're cooking, let's say, and you know, working on that. The pepperiness is amazing. I love that, the way it manages to make it extremely subtle and yet persistent. It's on the finish. On the finish, it turns into something a little sweeter, maybe more of a dark chocolate taste. The whole combination of flavors and aromas and the balance. We talk a lot about the balance of some wines, how they just come together. Nothing sticks out, but at the same time, when you want to think about it, you can start peeling layer after layer. And this is why they call some of these wines Burgundian in nature, like the wines of Rostin and the wines of Clusel-Roch. They are Burgundian in that sense that they have this depth and subtlety without hitting you over the head, and you kind of have to work a little bit at discerning, at separating all the different flavors and think about how they all come together. Anyway, an amazing wine. Happy to share it with you on this occasion, and see you all soon.